Check us out in Spanish at Universos Abiertos. There are so many fascinating things about our world, and many of them are worth hearing about. From making children fly to craziest animals, here are the most bizarre, random things you do want to know. Feel free to write in the comments what are the weirdest things you have ever heard of, and remember to subscribe for more fascinating and random stuff. And if you like the video, click the subscribe button, and in the comments, tell us something we should know about your country. Remember, Ned is somewhere in the video. Comment when you see our mascot. Number 9. Freeze them with hot water. Did you know that the inmates in the Alcatraz prison were given hot showers every day? It was part of their standards to do so. It was not to make them feel happy in their living arrangements, but it had to do with the cold temperatures on the ocean surrounding the island. The prison management believed that if the inmates were accustomed to warm, delicious showers, if for any reason they wanted to escape, the thought of swimming in the freezing cold waters of the Pacific Ocean will stop them in their tracks. High success rate. Number 8. Milk is white, right? Talking about precious liquids like water, baby's milk is mainly water and important nutrients for the baby to develop. Nothing cuter than seeing baby horses and calves drinking milk from their mothers. Most of what we're accustomed to seeing is the precious white liquid being engulfed by the hungry little critters. But did you know that hippopotamus milk is not white? Hippos are very unique animals. Not only are they given the prize for most humans perishing per year, above lions and any other predator in Africa, but hippopotamus have red sweat. Most people mistake it for blood. So, it may not be of any surprise after knowing their spewing red sweat that their milk is pink. It will be like drinking strawberry milk then. One more thing about hippos. Did you know that they're closely related to whales? That's probably why they like to stay underwater and only come out for air when needed. Number 7. Master escapees. Speaking of prison breaks on water, did you know that octopus have 9 brains? We humans can barely manage 1, let alone 9. Octopus are so extremely smart, so much so, they can open a container if trapped in it. And because they don't have any bones, a 600-pound octopus is able to figure out how to fit through a space the size of a quarter. You may have heard or seen humans with hypermobility who can bend their bodies in pretzel-like ways, but never as flexible and bendy like an octopus. So cool. Down with style. You may be aware of many mental health issues, disabilities, or challenges within your family and friends, but Down syndrome is not one of them. Did you know that although Down syndrome is labeled as a disability, new incredible cases of very successful people have been in the spotlight and are becoming recognized in their individual fields? From businesses owners to models and designers, they are breaking the stereotypes. One memorable case is of fashion designer Isabella Springmuhl. She is from Guatemala and is the first designer with Down syndrome to have a show during London's Fashion Week. Since she was rejected from designer school, she went back to basics, following her grandmother's footsteps, and designed her own pathway to success. Another incredibly successful story is Madeline Stuart. This gorgeous young woman is a model on the New York Fashion Week, to name a few. The motto of these 2 successful ladies is simple. The only disability is the blockage we put in front of us. They have shown us there is nothing but us standing in our own way to success. In the animal world, there is a very rare case. Did you know that due to overbreeding of the rare white tigers in captivity, one of them was born with Down syndrome? His name was Kenny, and he lived with his sibling until he passed away at the age of 10, half the lifespan of a regular tiger. Number 5. Where is that? When thinking of exports, there are many countries that are recognized for being large exporters of particular items. For coffee, you may think of Colombia or Brazil. For bananas, Ecuador and Costa Rica. But did you know that the majority of dentures come from Liechtenstein? You may not have heard of this country, but it is the sixth smallest country in the world, as well as one of the richest. As industrialized as Switzerland, this small nation has capitalized on the business of dentures and false teeth. Now you know where Grandpa's fake pearly whites come from. Keeping it clean. This may sound very obvious to many of you, but taking a shower regularly and right after applying an aftershave or a scent of some sort, it's part of the norm for most of the world. But did you know that in ancient times, the Vikings were considered obsessed with cleanliness? Apparently, bathing once a week was obsessive. Mixing things up a little, did you know that in France, perfumes were perfected to maintain the odor under control since showers were also not very common? One interesting thing I am sure you did not know is that the first modern perfume was made in Hungary and it was called throughout Europe as Hungary water. This was in the late 14th century. Going back to France here, Napoleon Bonaparte was so obsessed with perfumes that half a gallon of violet cologne was sent to his home once a week. His wife was just as obsessed with scents as he was. Over half a century after her passing, the scent of musk she was partial to still lingered in her private bedroom. You will like this one too. But did you know that big cats like cheetahs apparently are extremely attracted to perfumes by Calvin Klein? I wouldn't go to the zoo with a Calvin Klein Escape perfume or obsession. You do not want to give them any ideas. Number 3, home tunneling. Keeping up with the weird and interesting at the same time, did you know that there is an underground tunnel in Las Vegas? Underground tunnels were also built in other larger cities such as New York and Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo's tunnels are over 5 stories high and were built in case of flooding during the monsoon seasons. Japan's tunnel system is also known as the Underground Temple. You can actually do a tour of the almost 7 miles long tunnel system. In Las Vegas, the story is very different. Vegas does have the threat of monsoon like in Japan, but that could happen maybe once a century. Since Las Vegas is a desert, when it rains, it pours. More so, what makes the 200 miles long tunnel so interesting is that there are entire communities of people, families, and children who have taken residence there. Over 1,000 people. Most were homeless or have fallen into hard times, but have made the tunnels their home where they belong. The better-maintained walls are artistically painted with graffitis, adding a more personal touch to a very impersonal location. In Germany, did you know that there is almost a 4-mile-long tunnel designed only to test lasers? Number 2, holy danger, kid! Did you know there are some very bizarre rituals involving children being dropped from high altitudes, the normal making the kid cry, as well as babies used as obstacle courses? Here are their stories. One of the most traditional and modern countries in the world is Japan. You may see a geisha walking next to a woman who looks like she just came out of a cartoon novel. But did you know that in Japan there is a tradition to make babies cry? The reason is not to be mean to the children, although the kid may think otherwise. This 200-year-old Nakisumo festival honors children according to ancient philosophies. It says that babies that cry grow faster and healthier. I am sure they may become opera singers then. In the subcontinent of India, did you know that there is another bizarre baby-involving tradition? This danger tradition is called Baba Umar Bargah. It dates about 500 to 700 years. It started when a peer, who was a spiritual leader, decided that it was a good idea to drop ailing children about 30 feet off the window of a shrine. It's said to bring health to the baby and trust in God. And the people at the bottom holding the sheet catching the kid. It's like being on a roller coaster without any safety belt holding you. Okay, moving to Spain. Do you know that there is a baby jumping tradition called El Colacho, or Devil's Jump? It's an annual celebration that started in 1620, and it's designed to cleanse babies of their original sin. Although the Catholic Church does say that holy water does the trick too, no need to jump over any babies for that. Number 1. We are not going there. Did you know that there is a children's game in East Asian countries that is so dark it's worth mentioning? For many cultures around the world, the traditions, as outrageous as they may be, have survived the passage of time, like the baby ceremonies we talked about earlier. This particular traditional game is called kancho. Kancho is most popular in Japan, Korea, and Taiwan. While making a gesture with your hands that look like a gun, the prankster will attempt to poke an unexpected passerby, but a friend may be better, in their butt. It was recently made popular again by Naruto, a famous series of comic books in Japan, better known as manga. What else would you like to explore? Let me know and click the like button. So how many of these did you know? Comment below. Thank you again for watching.